Pointing where those two lines cross, and then we'll draw our next. 6 lines. So we've got the same 6 marks each side. It's now up to you how far you take this project. You can draw a triangle the same way around, so it's got the point to the top of the line. If you draw that on the same side, you can make a straight triangular box. It won't have twist in it because it won't be offset. If you want to offset it, we offset it just by 60 degrees. So what I basically do as a visual reference is, instead of having a triangle that way around, we have a triangle pointing down on the other side. So there you go.
Yeah.
So we've gone from a triangle pointing up to a triangle pointing down. And basically what that means is, if we mount on one side, if we mount it at this point, which I always start with at that side, if we then mount this side on either one of these, you've offset it by 60 degrees. Does that make sense? I really hope it does. Right. The first one is the easiest one to do. It's the middle one that then... Is that my phone? I am very sorry.
My phone, by the way, Emma, it'll go off every 28 minutes because I have to restart this video.
Oh yeah, it annoys me just
They
that.
only last
Yeah.
half an hour.
I can't remember the reason about that, because when we were starting getting filming equipment for doing videos for YouTube, that was one of the biggest sticking points that all new DSLR
This
cameras
just turns off, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
So
they're all the
this-
same.
this
They're
will
all
buzz
limited to around 30 minutes. Some
Yeah.
are 15. Right, so I always take that point here, so I just circle it just for a visual guide, and then it doesn't matter which one you do, as long as when you move it, we're moving it to the same in the same rotation. So I'm just going to circle that one. So those are going to be my first 2 points that I'm using. And what I'm going to do is I will draw on this board what we're achieving, so that you can see it in 2D, and then if you want to photograph that and it makes sense to you so that you can transfer it on here, that's fine, but it just confuses me. So I honestly can't do it from memory which way around to go. It's just not the way my brain works. I am very visual with stuff, so I have to work it out in that way. So one side we've got. But I didn't used to do this, but as I say, I know that some people were a lot better having it all mapped out. I won't draw the arcs, I'll just draw the triangles, because otherwise it's going to cause that one and that one. So that's what we've got at the moment. So we need centre back in there. And this is where you'll be testing your wave bearings. So 20 mil is not a lot, but yet you'll know about it going round. And the thing is that as long as you keep it at 20-25, between 20 and 25 mil, you'll always get a 60-degree curve. You'll always get one. So you don't need to go larger. you'll still get that same curvature.
So you always put the off-centre at the headstock.
They're both off-centre. Because they're both.
Oh, you've got...
They're both on the outer edge of the circle. They're both
right,
10
sorry,
mil
yeah,
out.
Stupid, no.
No, not stupid. No, it's not stupid at all. It's not. If you don't, actually, that's quite a good point. If you only offset one side, what you end up with a circle going into a triangle.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite nice. It's a really nice little transition out past that round. It's got glue all over it, sorry, but it gives you an idea. I haven't made that into anything. I was just playing with ideas with that. So, and obviously offsetting just one side is a lot less stressful. I couldn't tell. I'd say that offsetting them at the same angle doesn't really. It doesn't really reduce anything because you're still offsetting it by 10 mil. It's just we've offset it and twisted it.
So
now,
you're using the point because that's all we've got,
yeah.
The tailstock. Would you use the rotating stem if you had one?
The only reason is if you're doing, I mean that's buried in there, so it ain't coming out. But if you were doing anything like this, I've done them in all sorts of different woods. I did one in oak. That were a bit tough to do because you can get a lot of breakout on the oak. But if your point isn't in a lot, then you need something to grip, and the teeth on the stem centre, they really do bite in. But where the bite in is on that outside edge, and that's why if you have too small a spigot on here, your stem will be hanging over, so there's no holding it on. So I do use stems a lot, but they are really expensive to buy. As I say, I did have a 1 Morse taper and I left it at a club last year sometime, and that was a £65 mistake.
I don't think we've got a rotating stem, have we?
No, we haven't. Oh, definitely not.
They're not cheap. I mean, I like the original stems. Axminster have brought their own out. They're quite a lot cheaper, but I haven't had a go with them. I couldn't tell you how good or not good they are. Right, so normally if something was out of true and I was starting to turn it, whether it was a big burr, anything at all, to get the feel of it, I would normally say start with a 1/4 inch ball gouge and sort of work your way up. The problem that you've got with the ball gouge, as you're going to see, I'm turning that speed down, the problem you've got with this is it's not a heavy chisel. So every time the wood hits the tool, there's bounce, and what you'll end up with which I'm hoping will show on that camera here you can see it from there actually, there's lots of little turning rings.
So
that's a nightmare
You couldn't
for you.
use your big roughing.
That's exactly what I'm going to use. And I would never, ever, ever normally recommend going anywhere near something that's off centre with a roughing gouge, because you're introducing that massive cutting edge, which if it digs in, you'll know about it. So it is gentle application, but by using a large tool edge, it's a heavy tool, the wood is falling onto the chisel, but the chisel isn't moving, you'll get a much better finish because you've got 2 ways of sanding these. You can sand them with a sanding arbor, because we're not putting fingers anywhere near that. But if you sand it with an arbor, you'll get this kind of effect. So you'll get that rounded corner of your triangle. So it's not overly defined. If you want it crisp, like that one that I passed round, that's much sharper, you've got to sand it by hand, and it's just a matter of going with the grain and sanding it by hand. So this reduces quite a lot of the sanding. So you've really got to apply this chisel very carefully. You'll still get a little bit of bounce to begin with, but nothing like the ball gouge. And the thing is that even as we start to true this edge up a bit, the ball gouge will still be bouncing all over the place.
What are your revs down to?
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's a very good point. They are down to about 400 RPM,
Right.
or 500.
Okay.
It's whatever speed your lathe can take.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like, every lathe's got its own vibration band. So as soon as you start to turn the speed up, if it starts to wobble all over the place, turn it, back it off again. Sometimes you can go through it and you'll get a better finish if you can turn it faster. So all I'm doing, I'm applying the tool and then I'm watching that ghost image. And that's something else that I want to mention, because you're not looking at solid wood, it's essentially flashing. If you start to feel a little bit disorientated, you need to stop, because it can make you have a bit of a funny turn. So there's not a lot of, I've not done a lot of turning, but already we've taken a lot of wood off. So in a very short time, we've really sort of started to make an impact. When it comes to knowing whether or not you've done a third, I tend to try and overdo it slightly so that all three edges will match up, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. You get a bit of a feeling for it, and I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out thing to say, but by looking at it, what I'm trying to do is roughly see. I'm just roughly breaking that down into a third. That's nowhere near. We need quite a bit more. That's not a third of that circle. So I'll take some more off. If at this stage you find that you're putting into your spigots, by the way, don't worry, because we'll be re-establishing those anyway. This one will need turning off because of the centre being so far into it. So we'll have to put a new spigot on that end anyway. The more parallel that you can get that face, the better. You'll get a neater twist. If you take any if you get any big chunks, then you'll get a dip in the line of the twist. And you won't be able to get rid of that. But because we're going to be texturing this, or half of it anyway, that's a one way that you can cheat and you can hide things if you do get a little bit of a wobbly line. So where are we now? So we've got a little bit. I don't know who you are, Kyle. That's probably about there. I'll just do a couple more passes. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'll turn it down to the spigot. So when I've done one face, I I then go, it's got to come off the lathe anyway, and I always do it this way around. Some people like to draw a series of circles, which acts as your depth guide for each side. But I'm not a fan of doing that because you can easily get confused as to which one you're working from. So I just think if you turn one side, you can then take this off the lathe, because we need to do anyway to remount it, and then go back to a pair of compasses and set that basically. So I'm setting that to the outer edge that we've turned down to, and I'm just going to draw a circle around there. And if, as long as I turn the other side down to that point, they'll all be the same. They'll all be the same depth, which gives you the best chance of getting an equal triangle. It will also make sure when we put when we hold the box out and put the spigot on the box and the recess, that they'll be central, because otherwise they'll look slightly off to one side. So I'm going to keep the compasses the same width apart. We might have got it a little bit wrong on the other side, but it's better than working towards spigots that we haven't measured. So we've got our reference circle on that side, which is very close to the spigot because it's obviously a little bit larger as that one. So this is the slightly awkward bit. Your first twist is the one where it can go wrong. It's not difficult to resolve if you do get it wrong though, so don't panic too much. What I do is remount it on the points that we had it on to begin with, and then I move one side at a time. So I twist the box so that the point that we're using currently is furthest away from me, and I've got a point towards me. There's one pointing down as well. So that's our triangle. So there's one towards you, one towards me, one pointing down. I'm going to move the centre from the point at your side to the point at my side. So I'm just going to walk that across. And then I'm going to twist this the same way so that So I've got a triangle pointing down, point towards you, point towards me, and I'm walking mine onto the centre.
So you're moving them 120 degrees round,
Yeah.
260.
Yeah, but it's still 6 degrees apart. 60 degrees apart. Now, sometimes you do end up getting it a bit wrong. So when you first mount it, all I do, and you can't often tell when it's spinning round, you're never quite sure. So I just remount them, make sure that it's tightened up, and just take a couple of cuts. So that should be enough. And basically all I'm trying to do is make sure that the part we've taken off is spiralling in the right way, because you can end up twisting it round, and it's not spiralling too much, because we still need to just be 60 degrees apart. both sides. So we'll continue to take that off, and then we've just got one more movement left to do. Yeah, we can see that we've got that join now. If you end up that you've got a flat, don't panic too much about that. Whatever you do, don't start trying to remove that at the moment. What you might have to do is go back over each side again, and you might have to draw yourself a slightly smaller reference circle. But do it evenly. Don't just try and whip it off one side, because you won't have a centralised circle. So we'll take this off again. The last twist's the easiest because it's the two that you haven't used so far. But what I'll do is mark them so that we know what we've done. So I'll put a cross on that one, cross on that one, and as I say, I'll draw them on here so that you know what the score is. Cross. So if I hold that up now, some of you might think the same as me. That looks like some kind of alien graffiti. But it just looks wrong, especially this one, because that looks like you're mounting that on complete opposites, but that is what we've got on each end. So, where are we? So that is that one, and this one is that one. So it does look like you're going opposites, and you know about it if you did. That would be 180 degrees offset, which is way too much. So that's why I don't use that for marking out. That's why I can never remember it, because it just looks incorrect, but that is correct. Because one is going clockwise and one is going anti-clockwise. I'll leave that there. If anybody wants to photograph it, we'll offset it this last time.
It's pretty important you put it back in the lathe the same way around.
Well, that's why I always have either colour code, lined up colour code, because it absorbs it too much. So either colour code them or something, and then if you've got to go back over a side, you know exactly which ones match up, and you're not having to rework
well,
it out.
It's easy for you because you've got the centre, the rotating centre one, and the step the other.
Right, I see what you mean.
You see what I mean?
No, it won't make a difference. It shouldn't make a difference.
It's a measure.
Oh no, it would, wouldn't it? Because it'd be the opposite way. I don't know. We'll have to have a look.
I'll
Yes, try it next week.
I'll get someone else to try it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if that's how I managed to twist it round. Not sure.
Well, since we don't have a rotating step, then we're not going to fall into that.
So, last face. By this time there's a little bit less weight in the timber, so you probably can turn the speed up. But it's up to you. on easier than on tiny little lathes. I have a really little Axminster lathe at home that I sometimes take to shows to demo on, and it handles it perfectly well. So you're not limited, you don't need a large lathe, you don't need it bolting down or anything along those lines. It's not that kind of off-centre lathe. So that is that. Do you want me to pass that round briefly so that you can actually see it? Is that alright? Yeah, I will do that. I'm just going to wash my hands because they're absolutely filthy.
I mean, as you say, identification, but you can see it chip it down.